Let me see. Can I hear? Hello, hello, hello. 诶，我好像听不见。I cannot hear myself. Okay, okay. Now it's okay. Hello, welcome to today's presentation about the 2025 NMOS. Okay, so if you are here, you just send a message to me. I can see the all the message into the live chat and during the presentation, if you have any questions, so just ask in the live chat. I will stop and answer it. Okay. Hi. Hello. Hello. I know maybe some of you, yeah, hello. Maybe some of you have the class or maybe doing your homework. Never mind. And we will start at 1930. Okay. Oh, hello. Hello. Okay, so maybe we just start now. So hello everyone, good evening. So today we'll just begin our 2025 NMOS planning. Okay, so yeah, similar as the last year. So I will introduce our plan for this year, how to get a NMOS gold, and how we will help you to get this target. Okay. Hey, so firstly, can you tell me which grade is the child in? Okay, which grade is the child in? So if your child is in P4 and wants to prepare for NEMOS 1 year earlier, or if you are B, the child is in P5 and will be attending NEMOS in July. Or maybe C, the students are still very young and want to find out NEMOS, what is NEMOS today, okay? So you can have a choice, A, B, C. You can type in the live chat, P5, okay? Oh, okay, B. I think most of you maybe are just P5, right? Okay, all is B. Yeah, P5 this year. Very good. Okay. So P5 this year, yeah, we still have about yes. From today it's just 5 months, right? 5 months. So why sometimes A type A B or C? Okay. Now, okay. So yeah, we still have 5 years. 5 months, right? Okay. So firstly, I will introduce myself. So I'm teacher Turner from Sing Academy, and I'm just I have P4 and P5 and P6 composition class. So I will focus on the P5. So today we'll introduce our NEMO's plan. Okay, yeah, there must be someone to see, right? So nowadays, yesterday I have two P2 students' parents ask me about the NEMOS, so it was pretty earlier. But by the way, so 3 years ago, yeah, for P3 students, they can still attend for NEMOS, but last year they changed that. Okay, last year they changed that. Okay, so today we'll just introduce three main parts. The firstly is about the 2025 NEMOS. So in the second year after the change of the new policy in 2024, so what changes have been occurred and compared to before? So after that, I will do the LS of the last year exam because last year is the first year they do the change. We don't know anything about the new policy and we don't know what is the difficulty level and what kind of questions they will test in last year. But this year, unfortunately, it's the second year, so we are more familiar with the questions themselves. And also later, I will share our Sing Academy Gold Medal Protection Plan and to help you get the gold or even the higher award, for example, the top 30 or the IMSO national team. Okay. So yes, medal is it some school have already yes asked you to sign up, register the NEMOS this year. I hear some school have already informed the students. They give you a list about whether you want to sign up for the NEMOs or AMO or SMOPs, and you can click all of them, right? So some of you maybe just click the AMO and the SMOPs because it's just held in April, right? But for NEMOs, it will be in July. Already registered. Okay, very good. So yeah. So firstly, in 2023, you can see for the NEMOS, we have two paper. The first one is the first round, and it will be a little easy and only 30 questions. And for the first round paper, our target is okay. I want to go to the second round. Your score is okay. So maybe later in March they will ask you to sign up for NEMOS. And after that, so all the students can sign up actually, but usually the school only invite the P4 and P5 students if you are very good at math. So some school will invite the P3 student to sign up and join the competition. And I remember in 2023, there are at least the two students get a gold medal when they are just P3. Okay, so for the second round, yes, we have 20 questions and it will be a little hard. It will be very, very hard for the second round, for the special round. And that's why last year we don't know anything about the change. So maybe we guess, yes, last year from NMOS, they used to have two competition, right? Two first round and second round. For the first round, we choose some better student, and for the special round, they want to choose the best students, maybe join the national team or choose the top 30. And so if I change to only one paper, so how can I just use one paper to pick the top students? Yeah, that's a very big question. So because for the first round, I can do two round selection, but only one round. How can I do? Yeah, maybe you choose D. No, D is the last choice. Okay, so if I only have one paper, so I want to choose the best students. Of course, for me, I will make this paper very difficult. Okay, very difficult, and I want to select the top students. That's why. So last year, maybe we just share the questions, all the difficult questions to our students. But so maybe I think the NSI is very kind. They not choose the harder one. They not choose the more difficult questions. They combine the difficulty. The difficulty level is just between the first round and special round. It's not so harder than the same difficulty level as the special round, or maybe harder than the special round. So it's between the first round difficulty level and the second round difficulty level. So I think it's very kind to all students because they not only can select the best student, but also all the students maybe can get award and maybe will not cry after doing such a difficult question. Okay. So yes, last year it will be July 16th. And this year, if you just see the website on NUSI, so this year the NMOS competition will be held on July 15th. Okay, July 15th. And also, yes, the grade. So this year, same as the last year, only P5 students can sign up. Okay. Yeah. NMOS for 2025, only one round, only one round. And also for the last year, 2024, also only one round. And for this year, we still have 35 questions, and it will take 1 hour and 30 minutes to answer it. So if you calculate very fast, can you tell me how long I should take for one question? It should be about 2.5 minutes, right? So that you have to do 2.5 minutes for one question. And also we have some different difficult level questions. So that means you maybe take more time on the difficult questions, use less time on the easy question. So similarly, same as the RMO. So for RMO, in total we have 20 questions, and you will take 1 hour to answer it. So that means one question you only have 3 minutes. But the difference is RMO, all the questions is very hard. But for NMOS, we still have a lot of easy questions. We still have a lot of easy questions. That means you maybe not take so long time on that. Okay. So yes, maybe you want to ask how difficult is the NMOS question. So let's look at here. So this is, we do the exam as after 2024 NMOS. Just the next day we receive the paper, we do that table. So we firstly separate into 5 different modules about the calculation, counting, word problem, number theory, combinations, and the speed time distance problem. And after that, so we find what kind of topics it tests. Because you should know for last year, yes, we analyzed the past 15 years question. We can find actually every year the NMOS will test about such kind of 10 knowledge points. And every year they will test about that. So we want to think about maybe they change the first round, second round into only one round. Will the topics change or not? So after we do the things, you can find actually we just test these several knowledge points. So yes, as you can see, so for the past year in 2018 to 2023, so you can see the word problem and the geometry occupy the most, maybe about half of all the competition topics. And for the second round, you can see actually we test the more number theory question. And but now come to 2024, you can see the word problem and the geometry also occupy almost half of the topics, and they test more about the combinations. Okay, so about the combination, it's a very special topic. Why? Because sometimes it will become very hard. It will become very hard. But for the geometry and word problem, if you know the models, some geometric models, some word problem about the ratio, it will be very easy. It will be very easy. And not same as the RMO. So, for RMO, the RI competition, they like to test more on the calculation. But for NMOS, you can see every year they will pay more attention on the geometry problem and the word problem instead of the calculation. Okay. So also you can see the number theory, the counting and the speed, time, and the calculation occupy a very large part. Okay. So this is for 2024 NMOS. So you can see actually they not change so much. They not change so much. The topics they test is still this part. Okay. So this is about the last year NMOS questions types. And now let's see. So the highly tested, the most frequently tested topics is still this several part. Okay, you can see almost every year they will test these several things. Okay, they will test these several things. So that means if you have less time to prepare for this competition, so my suggestion is just focus on these several topics. Make sure all the topics you are very familiar with, and also make sure all this type of question you can do it very well. So I think the goal is not a problem, and you can very easily get it. Okay, so this is about the frequently tested topics. Okay, so you don't need to make the screenshot. So later I will maybe send, or maybe you can check our book. Okay, later. So firstly, let's see how I define the difficulty levels. As you can see in the big table, we just label all the question, and we have a difficulty level. So maybe we labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means we have different difficulty level. So for the level 1, that means I know the basic foundation concepts, and I can easily do that. For level 2, that means you need to know the basic concepts, but maybe you need to use the multiple steps to solve that. Maybe it takes more time. And for level 3, so more abstract understanding, you need to solving with proven models and combine the concepts. And for level 4, based on the level 3, but you need to take more time and sometimes combine other concepts. Please send. Okay, so never. Okay, so for the slides later, I think I will send. Okay. Okay, so yeah, for level 5 is something very strange. Okay. So for easy for you to understand, so you can see for the level 1 is if I know the formula, yes, you can just do it. For example, how to calculate the triangle's area, I just use the base times height, then divided by 2. So I just put in the number inside the formula. For level 2, you may use not only one formula. For example, sometimes you need to know how to calculate the circle's area, and and also sometimes you need to calculate the triangle's area inside the circle. So you have 2 steps. And for level 3, students can do, but sometimes give up. So you may find, yes, this question I need to use at least one concepts, and you need to combine different formulas, and you need to combine different knowledge points. So sometimes you may think it's very complex and very hard, so you just give up. For level 4, so that means you can do some few steps, but stop at some place. You have no idea how to calculate that, and sometimes you need to ask your teacher for some help. They will give you some hint. So for the level 5, so I don't think any primary school can do that. It will be super hard. And sometimes about the rotation, and sometimes some, the secondary school knowledge point. Okay, so this is our difficulty level. So after that, we separate all the question, all the 35 questions in last year NMOS. You can find something special. So for difficulty level distribution, if the difficulty level is 1 and 2, you can see they occupy most questions in 2024 NMOS. And for difficulty level 2, it's about 19 questions. We have 19 questions about the difficulty level 2. And for difficulty level 3 and 4, you can see they just occupy very less question. And what else? So it's not saying that the 1 point question is just the difficulty level 1. 2 point question is just difficulty level 2. So you can see some question is 4 point or 3 point. It's the difficulty level is just the 1 or 2. But sometimes the question is just the score 2 point, and the difficulty level may be 3 or 4. So that means you need to have a very good strategy to do the questions. So sometimes you don't know how to do the question. My suggestion is just skip first. Okay, so just skip first. Maybe you can pay more time on the behind the question and some question because it's 4 point or 5 point, but the difficulty level is not so hard. It's not so hard. Okay, so and what else? So for NMOS, the question difficulty up to 4. Okay, up to 4. So if you see last year, we don't see any question you cannot solve in the difficulty level 5. It's not like the ARM also for the eyes competition. I think mostly are just the difficulty level 3, 4, and 5. There is no such a kind of difficulty level 1 and 2 questions. So maybe you want to ask teacher. So is NMOS just a kind of easy competition, and they never tested any question in difficulty level 5? Absolutely not. Okay. So I remember in 2018 there is a kind of question. It will be very hard. They tell you the Pythagoras theorem and ask you to find out the degrees. So for that question, I don't think any primary school students can do that. You need to think a lot of time and find how to rotate the triangle. It will be very hard. That question must be a kind of difficulty level 5. But fortunately, maybe 2 or 3 years, there will be 1 or 2 this kind of difficulty level 5 questions. Okay. So in another way, so if you just want to get a goal, so maybe if you meet this question, just skip it. Okay, just skip it. Is this all Paris? I don't know. Maybe okay. So now let's think about after we do all the LS for this 2024 35 questions, we can separate into 3 parts: the basic questions, the moderate level questions, and the difficult problems. As you can see, it's about 26 questions. It's very easy. Okay, it's very easy. So the success rate is about 80%, and maybe you can just get 45 points on it. And for the moderate level questions, so it's about 7 questions, you can get 20. It's about 25 points. And about a difficult problem, so yes, it's only 2 questions and maybe 10 points, So the success rate is just 20%. So what we need to focus on this: how many basic questions, how many moderate level questions, how many difficult questions. You can see how it's just a strategy for you to how to separate my time and how many points I should get. So this 45 points, 25 points, and 10 points is about the difficulty level. So I want to ask a question. Can you guess, or maybe you know that you get how many points in NMOS competition you can get the gold? Yes, have a try. Okay, you can guess how many points I can get the gold. So I have already tell you the basic question is about 45 points. The moderate level question is about 25 points, and the difficult problem is about 10 points. So can you guess how many points you can get, and then you can get a gold? Okay, 35. Is that means if I do all the basic questions correct, you can get a gold? 33 or 35? Half? Okay, so from 80, half is about 40. Yes. Okay, so actually it's about half. It actually is about half. If you get 40 points out of 80 points, yes, believe me, you can get a goal. You can get a goal. So that means what? You can see all the basic questions, 26 questions, 45 points. If you can get all the basic question correct, definitely you are gold. Okay, you are the gold. So it's not very hard for you to get a gold for the NMOS. No, it's half. Yes, about half, right? Yes, it's half. not means the half question you get correct. It means half of the total mark you get correct. Okay. Yeah, 50 is a very good score, and if you get 50, that means you are very close to the top 30, but you are just gold. Okay. For the top 30, it may be higher. Okay, so now let's look at some of the calculation problems. So you see what kind of question every year, almost every year, the NMOS will test. So firstly is the operations with fractions. So if you run through all the past year papers, you can see every year they will test at least one. So maybe the first question, maybe the second question. So in 2024, also the first question is about a fraction calculation, and also about a metric sequence about question 22. So it's a kind of metric sequence. So for the medium level question is about how to define the new operations and sometimes the number puzzle. But actually, I have to say the number puzzles, we have a lot of methods to do that. Sometimes they combine with the number series. Sometimes you can just guess to get the answer. But the most difficult one is about the quadratic equations. I think this one is very hard. And it's just the secondary school knowledge point. And don't think for NMOS, every year they will test about one or two this kind of quadratic equation, or sometimes the secondary school knowledge point. So you can see last year in 2024, the question 32, yes, it's about a quadratic equation, quadratic root, and they want you to calculate this 1 plus 2 over x times 1 plus 2 over y. So can you find out the smallest product of x, y? So this one, if you learn this quadratic equation, yes, this question 32, you even don't need to read what they tell you. You can just calculate. So I think last year in my P5 competition class, the NMOS competition is on July 16th. And it's in June, I just teach them how to do this question. So I think all of them can get it correct. Okay, all of them got it correct. So this is for the calculation. So I'll give you one sentence tip. So be patient and while writing and to ensure it's done correct. So most of the students maybe calculate wrong, maybe very nervous in the real competition and calculate wrong. Okay, please be careful about the calculation. I know in P5, some school, maybe all the school will ask you to use the calculator. Yes, very good question. Do they below calculators in the exam? No, they don't below. So for maybe almost all the competition are not allowed to take the calculators. But I know the PSLE can. Yes, they cannot use the calculator. Okay, so for the geometry, geometry I think is you see, if you still remember the bar chart, right? So the geometry occupy the most percentage in the NMOS competition. So that means if you are the king of the geometry, yes, you will be like NMOS very much. So for geometry area, they will test the angle calculation. You just use the formulas to solve the area problems. And for the medium level problems, so maybe you use the equal area transformation, the half model, maybe sometimes. And for the difficult problems, so it's about application of equal height model and solid geometry. So you may meet a lot of geometry models like the bird head, the swallowtail, or something else. So how to use that is a very important thing. And about the solid geometry, this is very special because I analyzed the past 15 years competition paper. So I think for the solid geometry, it will be at least I think it's about at least 8 or 9 years. I haven't seen that. So last year they test about this one. So yeah, maybe it's a lot. Maybe some students never practice the solid geometry before you come to the competition. But for this question, I think it's easy because they just ask you about the area, the surface area. So you can just imagine in your brain. But at least you should know the basic formula of the solid geometry. And what else about the question 13? So it's a very important and a typical question in NMOS. I promise for this diagram, I have already seen that at least 3 times. Okay, at least 3 times. So if you run through all the past year papers, this question you must know how to solve that. We have plenty of method. So there is an interesting story about this question. So you can see they ask you to find out the area of the quadrilateral AEOF, the top left one, right? So last year after the NMOS competition, I asked my students, "You get it correct?" So he said yes, and then he find okay. So he tell me the answer is BODC's area. I think this question is so easy, so that means he is correct. But finally, when I get the paper, I realized that he got it wrong because he calculated the ODCB's area instead of AEOF's area. So that means these 2 points go away. Okay. But yes, he finally get the top 30. So I think it's okay. I think it's okay, just these 2 points. If you connect OC, it looks like a swallowtail. Yes, you're right. But for me, I will not use that method. Okay. So now, for one thing is you need to make sure if this question is very familiar. So think about what kind of model you have already learned. And also you find out the common models, so you can just use that model to find out the area. Okay. So yes, this is very easy. And for the question 8, sometimes you think it's the equal area transformation, but yeah, as you can see, this one it's not because it's not two square adjacent to each other. It's a kind of rectangle and a square. So that means you cannot use the equal area transformation. You have to calculate the area and minus the white part. Okay, so this is something special. Okay, this is something special because I know some of you maybe connect this BD and do the transformation. It's not correct. Okay. Okay, so the next part is about word problem. So I think this one you are very familiar. Why? Because word problem almost every day, your school math, the PSLE math will test about that. So the basic one is the fraction and proportional application problems. And also the moderate level question is about the proportional distance up inside the ratio, distance, speed, and problem. So for the difficult problem is the Diophantine equation, and sometimes the undefined equation is extreme value analysis. Okay, so for question 33, this is an undefined equation. So you have to, maybe this is not commonly seen in your school because I know in your school you just practice a lot of things on the ratio word problem, right? So for the ratio word problem, I think you are all very familiar with. But for this kind of questions 33, it will be a little hard. So maybe it's more like you in the real competition, if you never made this kind of question before, so try to guess, okay? Try to guess the answer. So one sentence is just match the quantity with rate, and sometimes if you don't know how to do, so use algebra equation, okay? Please use algebra equation. At least you can list the equation and solve it. I think it's a very good way for you to solve this kind of word problem. So I know some of you may think, teacher, why I cannot use the bar model? Yes, you can. Some question you can, but some question you may use a lot of time to join that model. So in math competition, algebra equations is the things you must learn, okay? Algebra equation is the things you must learn. Okay, next part is about the number theory. So the basic problem is about the divisibility rule and the place value principle, finding the remainders. So I think the number theory, the concept itself is very hard. The concept itself is very hard. But for NMOS competition, they won't test such a hard question. Okay, not like the AMO and the SMOPs, they will be very hard about the number theory. But in NMOS, yes, they just test you the divisibility rule and sometimes the prime factorization to find out the LCM and the HCF. It will be very easy. It will be very easy. And the most difficult one, for example, the remainder problem. So you can see this question 24. They just ask you to find out the pattern, right? They just ask you to find out the pattern. So you don't need to think about so much about the remainder. Sometimes you need to do to solve the modular equation. So you don't need to do that. For NMOS, how about Magic 9? Yes, a Magic 9, sometimes the question, if you learn the Magic 9 lesson, you can see some question we just select from the NMOS competition, right? Okay, so, and also the things about the intermediate levels, you should know, do the multiplication, and something about the number theory, and sometimes you count how many numbers do we have. So this is about the number theory. So yes, I think the number theory which focus on the concepts and for the foundation things. And for the real for number patterns, do you need quadratic number sequence? We don't need. Okay, for the number patterns, they only test the integer positive integers. And one more thing, if you mention that, I will tell you tips. So about almost all the question, okay, almost all the question in NMOS, the answer is a kind of positive integer. Okay, the answer is a positive integer. If you meet a question, you find out the answer is a kind of fraction or decimal. So maybe you need to check by yourself. Maybe you get this question wrong. Okay. Hey, so one more thing is about counting. So yes, counting will relate to, okay, we have two things. The first thing is about the combination problems. Maybe you can use the permutation and the combination numbers. And about the shortest path, you should know how to use the label method to find out the shortest path. And about the geometry countings, so you can see this is the rectangle in question 2. So it's very easy. You can just count one by one, or you know how to use the combination number to count it. It should be find out a point and use 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 choose 2 like that. Okay, so this is about geometric counting. So about geometric counting, yes, it's almost every year they like to test, but only few methods you can use. No fraction, yes, no fractions. About geometric counting, so I remember there's a very hard question in 2017, the second round, I guess. So it's a kind of regular pattern, and they ask you how many triangles do we have. That one is very hard, so that means that question you have to label, I have only one triangle, two triangles, three triangle, and do the classification and find out each case how many triangles do we have. And that question will be very hard and waste a lot of time, I have to say. Okay, but you have no idea, please do the enumeration. And also about question 24, you can see question 24 is about a counting question, but this one is just like you calculate a arithmetic sequence and you find out the pattern. It's very easy. It's not very hard. Okay. So this is about counting. So one sentence for you is just be careful. Be careful. Okay. Don't count wrong. And when you do the enumeration, so please do not miss anything. Okay. Do not miss anything. So how to do not miss anything? So I think you can just calculate in order. Okay. Please calculate in order. That 34, I don't know. I haven't calculated. Okay. So yes, one more thing about the combination. So this part, it will be the hardest one in the NMOS competition. So you see the basic problems is about overall planning and the extreme value problems. So you see the question is like, I have, for example, I have Apple and I have the peers. I want to deliver to your home and maybe Jack's home. And but we have the different deliver fee. So which one is the most economic one? Okay, so this is about overall planning question. And about medium level questions is the logic reasoning. So be careful. This kind of logic reasoning is not like simply A say something, B say something, and C say something, and I tell you only one of them is correct. Who is the liar? Who is the truth teller? It's not like that. So in NMOS, the logic reasoning is more related to the number theory. So they will tell you this is a kind of number, and it can divide by 3. Maybe it's a kind of perfect square number, and they tell you it's the multiple of 11, so something else. And you have to choose which one is the correct. So maybe only 2 of them is the correct. So ask you to find out that question. So this is the medium level question. This is the medium level question. So about the most difficult one is the comprehensive questions, you can see. So for this question 29 last year, I think this one must test the secondary school knowledge point, okay? Must test the secondary school knowledge point. It will be very hard. As you can see, I think this question, less people get it correct. Very few people get correct. So that's my suggestion. Once you meet this kind of very hard question, just skip, okay? Just skip. And also for the question 35, I put this question 35 here, not since this is the last question, it may be very hard. So In the opposite, this question 35 is super easy. Okay, after you read the question, you should know what is the answer. That's things I want to tell you. Not means the 5 point question must be the hardest one. Not means the 5 point question is must be the hardest one. Sometimes the last question it will be easier, right? It will be easier. So for this third question 35, after we see the question, I feel maybe the paper or the question get wrong, but I checked the real paper. It's just this one. And you can see this is just a kind of one difficulty level 1 question. So be confident. Firstly, be confident. And for this question 35, it's just give you the 5 point for free. Okay, just give you the 5 point for free. Okay, so yes, one sentence is think patiently and allow yourself to give up. Sometimes give up is the best choice. Okay. So yes, let's do the summary. So for this one, so there are some significant difference in difficulty across different scores, but they are not absolute. And for the second one, the high requirements for algebra, yes, confidence is key. For a high requirements for algebra and computational abilities. And for the third point, the knowledge points across modules are relatively balanced and with a focus on testing geometric shapes. And for the fourth point, each year there are 1 or 2 questions. They test the middle school, the secondary school level knowledge point. And high frequency topics repeat in a similar manner. Okay, so that means every year, almost every year, they will test these few topics. Okay, so let's see. The basic questions is like the single knowledge point you just do the cross multiplication. It's very easy, just simple stats. And for the medium level questions, so sometimes you should know what the question is asking. And once you look at this diagram, okay, once you look at this diagram, you should know how to step by step and calculate this angle x equals to what. So this one you must learn and practice a lot, okay? And also, yes, once you complete, you can almost do more than 90% or 80% all the basic questions and the medium level questions get correct. Yes, of course, you are the goal. Okay, you are the goal. Are you? Also. Okay, so for the difficult problem, so I think this one you must learn a lot of things, and it's very hard for you to analyze, and you must practice a lot of questions, and later when you look at this diagram, you can immediately find out what kind of method I should use. So for this one, you have 2 methods. One is to draw the hypotenuse diagram, and one is to extend this AD and draw a height to prove these 2 triangles are congruent. And sometimes use some root 2 to do the calculation. It will be very easy. Okay, so this is the difficult questions. Okay, so now let's think about, we have the different learning objectives. So for example, if your target is to get a gold and you want to guarantee this silver. So children, I hope all the children with a certain foundation in Math Olympiad, and like the Sasmo gold medal. Okay, so I think if you want to, our target class type by Sing Academy is just our MHA class. So if a P4 student last year and this year P5, you want to join our MHA class, your Sasmo gold medal, yes, you can. You can just come into our MHA class. But if you want to come to the competition class, you still need to pass the test. Okay, so if you want to guarantee gold and compete for the top 20, so children who have systemically started Math Olympiad and entered the second round of the AMO in 5th grade. So be careful every year, okay? Every year. In April or March, they will test the AMO. And if you are P4 kids, the P5 kids, if you join the AMO and enter the second round, that means what? That means you have the chance to get the top 20 and even the IMSO national team. Okay, even the IMSO national team. And this is a very good chance for you to test yourself. And if you come to the second round, it's very good. Okay, it's very good. So that means you have a high ability to get the top 20. But someone ask, okay, teacher, if I not enter the AMO second round in P5, do I still have the chance to get a top 20 in NMOS? Yes, of course. Believe me. Okay. Last year I have one student who only get the distinction in AMO, and finally he got the top 20 in NMOS. Okay. Finally he got the top 20 in NMOS. It's very lucky. I think maybe the main problem is he don't know how to answer the MCQ questions. He don't know how to guess. But for the NEMOS, all the question is just fill in the blank. So he can do it very well. Okay. So for the IMSO national team, I think of course it's still based on this top 20, but the IMSO selection test, it will be very hard. And for the short answer questions, it's like it's of course it's more difficult than the NEMOS. And also they have the essay problem. You need to write down each steps, all the questions step by step. And also you need to prove the things you write down. Okay. It will be very hard for students. So for this kind of students, I think in P5, they must learn some math Olympiad in our Sing Academy or in other center. Yes. Okay, so for the IMSO team, if you want to prepare for this one, yes, I think you should at least start at P4. So for P4 students, how to test whether you can get come to the IMSO team or the top 20. So after this year's NEMOS, just give the real paper to your kids. And if he or she can get gold, yes, okay, yes, I will share. Okay, so if he or she get the gold medal level, of course, next year you can prepare for the top 20 and IMSO team. So our class will provide with you is our elite class. Okay, our elite class is all free, and if you get a good result, we will give you the scholarship. Okay, the scholarship is just the cash. If you have interest, you are interested about that, you can contact with me or our Think Academy. Okay. Wait. So now let's look at how to do the question with if you have different learning objectives. So if you just want the gold, okay. So from question 1 to question 10, use 25 minutes, more time on the first 10 questions to get some easy question or correct. And for question 11 to question 20, use 30 minutes, and our target score is 16. You use 30 minutes on the question 21 to question 30. Our target score is 15. And 31 to 35, use 5 minutes to get 4 points, at least one correct. Then you can find our estimated score is about 44. It will be a goal. Okay, it will be a goal. So if you want to really know how many score you can get a goal. Last year, the lowest one is 35. Okay, it's 35. That means you get all the questions in the first 10 and second 10 correct. Yes, you are the goal. You are the goal. And for top 20, you can see there is more competitive. So for the first, you almost have to get more than 57 points. Okay, more than 57 points. You can see for gold to top 20, 57 is it's just 13 points. So yes. Okay, so I think last year the top 10 means what? So if you want to get a top 10 in NEMOS, you can only get 10 points wrong. Okay, you can only get 10 points wrong. And the top 3 in NEMOS competition, I think just they lose only 5 or 6 points in NEMOS competition. And for the top 30, yes, it's about more than 58 or 57. This is correct. Then who will be invited to the IMSO selection team? Yes, all the PR and citizen you can above this 57, above the top 30, you will be invited to the IMSO selection team. Okay, you will be invited into the IMSO selection, and they will not call you. They will just tell your school you get the top 30 and invite you to join the team. Okay. Right, so now we will give you a target, will help you to get a goal. So I know some of you may still remember last year, we give you a kind of top 30 topics in NMOS. That book is pretty well, and I see some students who never learned Math Olympiad, after they learning this book, they get at least the bronze, okay? At least the bronze. Some of them really learn a lot of things. So this year, yes, we make the new version of this book, and it's just the 5 steps. The first step is about knowledge point, basic knowledge point. The step 2 is the practice with past year papers. It's all the real questions. And step 3 is the step-by-step guidance, and we will teach you every year, every question how to do that. And step 4, yes, we will give you some practice to practice. But this year we add one new steps, increase the difficulty. Why? So last year I've experienced. I sent these books to all my competition students, and only after 1 year, yes, no, only after 1 week, they finish all the top 30 questions, top 30 topics question, and they tell me, okay, so teacher, this question are too easy. Yeah, this book can only help them to review the basic knowledge points. And they think these 30 topics, maybe they learn it 1 year before or maybe 2 years before. So they can review all the topics and they are more familiar. But the questions and the practice questions inside this book are too easy for them. Okay, they are too. It will be very easy for them. So this year we just increase the difficulty and we add some challenge questions. Okay, so what kind of challenge questions? Later you will see. Okay. So the first step is about the knowledge point. So I just show you the first topic about fraction calculation because it's very important and every year they will test at least one. So the first question is about cancellation. So when multiply the fractions, how to do the cancellation. And also we teach you some very important formula about the difference between two squares, a squared minus b squared, how to do the separate. This is the knowledge point. You just read them. And after that, yes, we'll give you an example, just show you how, if you meet this kind of question, how you think about the question and how you do the question step by step. So yes, we do the cancellation. We'll teach you how to do that and give you 2 examples. And after that is the guided practice. You can see I will give you the space for you to write down the step 1, step 2, and step 3. Step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and tell you how to think and how to do the question correct. They are the similar questions. And after that, in each example, we will give you 3 practice questions. They use the similar examples and similar knowledge point, how to answer it. Okay. So one more thing that for this year, the new things is about the challenge. So for the challenge in the final section, we just choose 2 challenge questions put here. And this question is designed for the students who want to get the gold and the top 30, as well as those hoping to join the IMSO national team. So this challenge question is very hard. It's very hard. For me, okay, so my suggestion is if you want to do this book and you don't know, you never learned a Math Olympiad before, or maybe your level is just to get a silver and you want to get a gold. So my suggestion is, firstly, you run through all the 30 topics. And then after that, you look at the challenge question. Okay? Don't be scared about the challenge question. So each challenge question, we will have 2 QR codes. So the first QR code is about extra practice. Someone think, okay, so these questions are still very easy for me. So then you can try the extra practice. That question will be related to this question, but will be harder, okay? And if you really don't know how to do the challenge 1 or challenge 2, don't be worried. So you can just scan a QR code. You scan a QR code. Then this QR code will invite you to the YouTube link. And you can watch the videos. We will apply the video solution of this question on YouTube. Only scan this QR code. That means only you scan a QR code or you get a book and you scan the QR code, you can find out the solution. I think this video solution will help you a lot. So you can learn how the teacher solve this kind of question, how teachers think about difficult questions. So this is about our challenge question. So I think the strategy is, if you want to get a gold, yes, after you run through all the 30 topics, try the challenge. So never mind. If you are just in our competition class, yes, my suggestion is each topic you have to run through all the questions. You have to run through all the questions. Okay, so it's not very hard for the competition students. Right. So this is new things for in this year's book. Okay, so now, yes, if you want to get this book, you can just scan the QR code. It's all free for you. And the time is March 08, March 8th, and March 9th in Tyson branch, and March 15 and March 16 in Tyson, Novena, Juro East branch. You can get this book, okay? You can get this book. So I think this book is very useful, and later I will share the poster into our group, and also we have a new group for 2025 NMOS competition. So later you can also scan the QR code into that WhatsApp group. Okay. So yes, these are some good results from the parents. They think this book is very useful, and some of them just get the silver and a bronze. Okay, and some of them get the gold. Okay. Okay, so this is our target. Also, yes, after you pick up this book, you can see after you pick up this book, the next week is your school holiday. So for school holiday, of course, maybe the school not give you the homework, but we will give you the homework. So you can join our competition group. So this 2025 NMOS preparation group. And from this March 17 to March 21, every day, we will have the live stream. So what is the topics in the live stream? It's just in your book, okay? It's just in your book. I will separate into 5 basic topics about the calculation, number theory, geometry, counting, and the combination about here, okay? So yeah. Okay, some of you say you cannot scan the QR code. Never mind, you can join our group first. Later, I will share the poster into the group. You can join this WhatsApp group first, and later I will share the poster. You can just book the book online. Okay. So every day we will have the live stream on the YouTube. If you don't have time to watch that, never mind. You can watch the playback. Okay, you can watch the playback. Hey, so yes, this is the target to get the gold. So if you want to get a top 20, firstly, at least you can get a gold first. This is the first thing. And after that, how to determine whether you can get a gold? So for this book, for this top 30 books, yes, you just use 1 week or 2 weeks to finish all the questions, and think these questions are very easy. Then it's your time to prepare for the top 20, okay? So that means all the basic and easy question, you can master it well. So now it's time to focus on the most difficult one. So these are our 2 books for NMOS book A, and yes, you got this book last year. Have you finished that? You got these 2 books last year, so have you finished that? So yes, these 2 books are only for our long-term students. If you think you perform very well, you can at least get a gold. So please contact with your teacher to get these 2 books. So for these 2 books, I promise, if you can get all 100 questions very well, you can understand all the 100 questions in these 2 books, you must get the top 20. Okay, you must get the top 20. Okay, so yeah, you can ask your teacher to get one, but I remember we still have something in Novena branch, I think so. Yes, last time I carried some to that place. Okay, so if your target is top 20, please run through these 100 questions. Okay, what else? So you can see some questions in our book A and book B. So it's just very similar as the real questions. So I see this is like the original question, and sometimes the NUS High just do some edit. Okay. Okay, so if your target is our IMSO national team, at least I don't know, maybe you get at least the top 20 in P4 Sasmo, and you perform very well in the AMO second round. Yes, that means you have the chance to go to the IMSO national team. So for the IMSO national team, okay, uh, if you want to go to the IMSO national team, so please, we also have some class. It's our elite class. So yes, this class is only by invitation, and if you want to come in or if you want to try, so please contact with me. Okay, please contact with me. And this one is only one target, IMSO national team. Okay, so it's our elite class. It's our elite class. And okay, so one more thing about is our gold plan. So in March, we will have the online mock test on March 23, just at the last day in your school holiday. The last day in your school holiday. We will have the online mock test for free, of course. So this online mock test, we will share the ranking with you and also the questions. If you perform very well, we will just invite you. Okay, so this paper, yeah, it will be a little hard. It will be a little hard compared to the real paper. So only you practice very harder question. Yes, in the real exam, you will feel this question is very easy and get a good mark. Okay, so this is our online mock test. So yes, our activities actually until here it's just no more things for the to the public because for later in April to May we will have our past year papers run through. So for these three activities, okay, these 3 months we will just run through all the questions and in the past years, and you can see only our long-term students can join and it's free. And also, yes, we will separate our long-term students into 2 groups. The first one, if you are just the MHA students, so we will give you practice the past year papers for you. And because we will take more time to explain the basic knowledge points, because some knowledge points the MHA students never learned. If you are in our competition class, yes, all the knowledge points you have already learned. And so we will just give you the harder questions to make sure all the difficult questions you can get it correct and get a good result. Okay, so for this year we will separate to 2 classes, one for MHA and one for the competition class. So yes, if you want, and all the class is free, and for the MHA class we will pay more attention on the basic knowledge points. For the competition students, we'll pay more attention on the harder question. Okay. What else? So in as you can see, after May, so from June to July until the real competition, we will have mock test every week. We will have mock test every week. So it's about, I have already prepared for more than 20 mock test paper, okay? More than 20 mock test paper. So also, yes, some of you may know we have the gold intensive course. Last year, me and teacher Belinda just invite, I remember 12 students. Yes. Okay, so I remember we invite 12 students come offline in Tyson, and every morning from 9 a.m. to the afternoon 4:30. Yes, we just run through the papers in the morning, and after that in the afternoon we just provide the gold intensive course. So finally, all the 12 students, I think just only 3 from the MHS class who not get a gold. So they all get a gold at least, and 3 of them get the top 30. Okay. So our June, we will have the gold intensive course. So this course will be provided by teacher Ethan. He will prepare 6 main topics about calculation, geometry, number theory, word problem. Actually, this is word problem and counting and combinations. Okay, so this is just only provided for our long-term students, and Yes, if you perform very well in the mock test, we will just invite you. Okay, we will just invite you to come to the gold intensive course. Okay. So one more thing about the NUS High DSA. I know some of you may ask, okay, teacher, how can I go to the NUS High and how can I join the DSA? So for yes, if you get the NMOS Gold or maybe the top 30, believe me, at least you can join. You can pass the first round. Right, the first round they will test you the math problems and they will give you a paper about math and give you a paper about the science and you answer very well, they will invite you to the selection round. Okay, so for the selection round they will have interview, maybe you pass it, they will give you the offer. If you not pass it, so maybe they will have an extra chance, right? So they will invite you 1v1 interview, and after that, if they really don't want you, they maybe put you into the waiting list and sometimes just reject you. So what's the meaning of the waiting list? So as you can see, there is a SIE. Okay, so this is there is a SIE program. So if you're in the waiting list and you perform very well, maybe very well AL4 in the PSLE, you still have the chance to come into the AUSI DSA. Last year, I have a student, so he performed very well in math, all the math competition, but he was in the waiting list. And finally, he through this SIE program and come into AUSI. Okay, so this is the meaning. So for you, I think if you get the Nemo silver and gold, yes, you definitely can pass the first round. Okay, pass the first round. But you cannot tell me you are very bad at science. That means you will be failed in that competition. Okay. So if you get a Nemo silver or gold, yes, you can go to the DSA, have a try. And after that, it's about interview and some preparation. Okay. Right. So I think here's today's things. Let me see. Some parents ask me. If you have any question, you can just ask. Okay, if you have any question, you can just ask in the live chat and I will answer it. Hmm? Has anyone recorded full marks in NMOS before? No. I don't know why, because some students really got high, uh, very good marks, but they always make some small mistakes in the first 20 questions. That means they cannot get full marks. Will there be a briefing P? What is briefing P? You mean the briefing poster? What was the highest score record? Um, Actually, they won't tell you how much you get. Okay, they won't tell you the detail mark, and they will. You can just correct by yourself after they share the paper. So I think the highest last year, one of our student gets 76. 76. Yes. 76 means not means he get one 4 point question wrong. He got two points question wrong. SASMO and the NMOS competition is only just by school or privately. So SASMO is held by the company, by the private company. So it's IMCC. They will earn the money. So for SASMO, you can register by yourself. But for the NMOS competition, you have to through the school. Or only the not only the Government school, the teacher will just invite you maybe by the gateway, so just send you the message for you to register. For the international school, you have to ask your teacher because I know some international school will be invited to come to the NMOS competition because I remember in 2023 there is a student in international school get a very good result. Will there be live stream on RMO or is similar to this current MO? So RMO is very difficult, and if you never learned the Math Olympiad before, you want to prepare for the RMOs from today. So I don't think you have chance. Okay, so for AMO it's very difficult. So just the 2 months before AMO, so my suggestion is you can download some past year papers and do it at home. Okay, you can download some past year papers and do it at home. For AMO, so if you never learned any competition before, how's the question different in APM OPS? Okay, so yeah, Nemo's question is easier than the APM OPS. So APM OPS is about 30 questions. So the first 10 questions is easy, medium, and difficult. I promise the most difficult question in APM OS is much more difficult than Nemo's. But the most difficult question in APM OPS is similar to almost difficulty level. And the main difference between the APM OPS and IMO is for IMO, all the 20 questions is very difficult. But for APM OPS, we still have some easy, medium, and difficult questions. But if you want to say in average, the IMO question is the hardest, then the APM OPS, and finally is the NMOS. For NMOS question, it's very easy. And if you want to find a lower competition, it should be SASO. Okay, SASO is the easiest. Then the NEMOS, then the APM OPS, then the IMO. I mean, compared to the average difficulty level. Will there be live stream on IMO? Yeah, we don't have. So, if you are interested, every year the night after IMO competition, we will run through the paper. Yes, we will run through the paper. Okay, any more questions? Okay, if no more question, maybe we just stop here. Okay, so we just stop here. Bye bye. If you have more questions, you can contact with me. Bye bye. Group. You are going to leave then. Okay, sure. Bye. Okay, that's all.